what you're probably asking is, can you maybe bottle this substance and maybe pickle the substance, resell the substance, maybe make a myth of the substance? Because myths last longer than men.
Here we are doing it again, huh?
Welcome back to another round
What's
with the Gents.
is that like our theme song?
Yes, I had AI write it.
You want to hit us with the jingle real quick?
Dude, I was going to. I genuinely forgot it. I was about to do it again, like wholeheartedly, with the Gents. Something.
That's all right, man.
Welcome back again.
Welcome back again.
How many episodes have we lost since we've relaunched here?
Too many.
I'll say fully lost. 0.9 if we add them up.
I haven't decided if I want to do last week's episode yet.
I listened to some of it and it was like we were both borrowing Colton Sturgill's mic. Some good stuff, man.
A lot of shade thrown at the Sturgill family so far on this podcast.
The only person
We
that
are making alliances.
The only person that I drop his full name for some reason whenever he's brought up, even like tertiarily. Good stuff.
You fully just like
Dox.
dox him. Yeah.
As a joke. He's saying that I didn't actually dox him. Because that's not even his real fucking name. He's the Lizard King.
We love a good old Robert California quote. How much of that? I got a question for you.
There are no strings on me. Come on.
How much of Robert California's dialogue do you think James Spader just was going off the cuff? I mean, like, because that he's fucking crazy. There's no way that you're telling me that, like, with all the crazy dialogue, I feel like a lot of that had to be.
I think that Robert California was a character that you can get into the headspace of and just be able to riff like that is my thinking. And so I think that, yes, David Spader was able to just improv his way through most of that.
I even think about stuff when he's like explaining it. Is it to Dwight or Jim? I can't remember. It might be Jim. He's like wrestling a guy to the ground. He's like explaining to him how if he wrestles this guy once a week, it's actually like the same amount in cardio. Doing like a treadmill or stair stepper.
I don't even think I remember that. That was so funny though. Wow.
Yeah, there's so many good scenes. Well, not to talk about something that we haven't watched in, I don't know, months, years. Let's get into something that we're talking about, that we're watching right now.
Let's start
talking about it. Let's start rolling it out, massaging it out. You know what I mean?
I had a light week though. I had a light week.
Light week.
I had a low.
Why don't you go
flow.
First then? Why don't you just get it out of the way?
What did I watch this week?
Watch, play, listen to, pray to.
What did I pray to this week?
Allah, perhaps?
The Prophet of Truth, right? That's from Halo.
Right.
The weird snake-looking face with the crown.
Oh. That one?
Me so horny. Everybody says that?
Didn't say that. They didn't say that, man.
Remember the other prophet remember the boss battle in Halo 2 when you mount his chair and just punch him? It's like the equivalent of like climbing on top of like an old guy's wheelchair and just punching him in the neck. It's crazy. He's wearing power armor.
There were certain parts playing through that game. I mean, I was probably 13. You were probably 15 or 16. Like we're around that age range, and I didn't believe you. Like you'd be like, some things you'd be like, yeah, you're gonna get up here and punch him in the face. And I'd be like, no, you're not. And then you do it. It's like, the hell?
That's funny. I didn't know that you were doubting me.
Yeah, there was definitely parts in the game I remember. Yeah, I didn't believe you.
So the main thing this week, I don't think I watched any movies because we saw Disclosure Day. You didn't. Me and Dylan did. Mm-hmm. We talked about that last week. I was disappointed in it. Mm-hmm. Now, I did get a report on. I actually did some reporting for Mandalorian and Grogu. I did not see it, but I did speak to someone who did, my father-in-law, and I asked him, "What did you think?"
Report. No way.
Ball Bob report. Ball Bob report. Ball Bob report.
We need to get him to record a front-facing camera video.
Hey everyone, it's Paul. But he has been one of those guys where like he has liked a lot of the Disney slop, but he was like, the movie is just kind of nothing. Is even what he said. He's like, there's nothing to spoil or get excited about or to hook you or to remember it. It's just good enough that you're not thinking about, that you're not really watching anything while you're watching it.
There's some sort of weird new like Jewish trick that they have in these writing studios where they just like write something that just goes nowhere.
What do you
and
think?
It's just so
I really don't want to get into this for that long, but like, what do you think's going on? No, the Star Wars, dude. I would rather get into the Jewish stuff. The Jewish stuff is less toxic to get into than the Star Wars stuff. Seriously, like, what's going on between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? That like what is happening? What is going on? It doesn't make any sense.
Gave Jon Favreau a fat ass check, and I think that's all he cares about. I think after Iron Man 2, I think that man's so jaded that he's just doing it strictly for the money at this point. Because like
he even made Chef, which was about him.
Yeah,
and his negative feelings about Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
So he was like, he did that, and he was like, hey, now I'm mentally checked out. Because Chef is a great movie. Watch Chef. We don't have it on the table, but that's my movie pick of the week, actually, is to watch Chef.
Watch Chef. We should do a movie pick of the week.
In light of Mandalorian and Grogu, watch Chef.
We could have, our movie pick last week could have been 1 hour photo. That could have been.
Well, okay, well, are you saying that we didn't do it, so you're saying we can never do 1 hour photo?
Folks,
what are you saying?
We don't do any prep work for this show. We're doing work on the show as I'm just asking you to say what you're saying. I just want
to know what you're saying.
Performing. What?
Performing. Really?
Anyways. Yeah.
Okay, so for real though, one thing I did watch this week is I watched the first episode of Widow's Bay. Have you heard about this show?
Only from the text that you sent me about it, saying that I might.
It's one of those shows that just dropped on Apple TV, and it's just slowly building an audience. And I think it's going to pick up again, and that next week when From is over, and maybe those people start to look for a similar show, because it's kind of, I don't want to lead you down the wrong path. It's kind of like a dark comedy type of thing. The main character is a mayor in a island town off the coast of New England, so like like Maine,
is
Massachusetts.
There any, like, notable people in it, or is it kind of all no-name people?
I can't think of the dude's name right now, but I did recognize the main actor. Okay. But he's like a middle-aged guy. He's kind of cynical, but his whole thing is he wants to revive the tourist industry in Widow's Bay, which is the name of the town on this island. They're the only town on the island. The whole town is the island, right? But the kind of the underlying dark mystery current of it is that some residents say that the island is cursed, and it kind of starts with this fisherman at sea whose boat kind of gets engulfed by fog.
Yeah,
and he kind of comes back later, and it kind of sets up a mystery of like kind of making you ask questions as to what's going on here. There's been some cool lore things, like you find out that they have an old warning siren from the 40s that they would play at certain points in like this fog curse, but most people don't believe it now. So it's kind of like one of these things where like it has like shades though of Parks and Recreation in the comedy because they're like a government. So there's like a really old lady receptionist who's like not in a meeting, and they're like, "Where is Ruth?" And like, "Oh, she went home to nap." And he's like, "It's 11 a.m." like stuff like that. And it is pretty funny, but it also like is introducing some pretty cool mysteries. So I think it's worth a watch. It's on Apple TV. The whole first season's out. It's 10 episodes.
I think I'm a pretty big fan of like when shows blend that together.
Yeah,
I mean,
you like comedy more than me in general.
Well, yeah, but like also just the blending nowadays of like these weird comedy, drama, comedy, horror, even like
Yeah.
stylings. Like White Lotus, I would think is probably. I don't know if it fits into like my favorite all time, but like definitely as a newer show, definitely high on my radar. Like, I think I even wanted to mention that like, just it's probably pretty high that I feel like we get a season this year. I feel like they're pretty under wraps until like the season's done. They kind of just drop a trailer and they're like, hey, in a couple months you get it. It kind of seems like the way that show's gone for the most
Fine
part.
with me. It's been
And
pretty
I feel
consistent
like
so far. So
I feel like it's gonna drop soon because we just got a cast announced, which usually means that they're.
I love when stuff is announced and it's out like super soon.
That's what I mean. Like
I
they
wonder if we'll talk
release
about
like
one of those things later.
they release a cast announcement pretty much real close to the time that they're starting filming. So you're like thinking about it. You're like, when will I see a trailer? And it's like 3 months, go by, and all of a sudden you get a trailer, and it's like 2 months we're getting the show.
That's the way to do it. I don't
It's
want to
awesome.
know about. I don't want to think about White Lotus season 4 for like more than half a year before it comes out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just let me know when it's about to be out, and that is a show I would probably subscribe to HBO Max for if I wasn't subscribed that month already.
Yeah.
Because me and my wife love to watch that show.
It's just good. I think even
Yeah,
that
it's just good drama.
I've
So it's
met a lot
to
of
watch.
like guys that like it, but a lot of chicks too. Like I do think there's like a very just generalized audience appeal.
Oh, a big thing. It's like interrelationship drama though between men and women a lot of the time. So I think it just is like I don't think my wife as much as me. And you were like, man, Walton Goggins is so based. But that's what me and you kept getting from that last season, right? But when I checked it with her, I was like, what do you think? It's like, she's like, he's really bad to her. And I'm like, you're right, but he's so based too,
I
right?
didn't give a fuck about that British gap tooth bitch.
No, come on, man. Cut that out. He didn't say that. You can't say that stuff.
Walton Goggins is based.
I'm like Walton Gag on it, please.
What's up?
His name.
How depressed did it make you when Sam Rockwell showed up, only to be like, "I want to be fucked by Asian men"?
Cannot believe how
I want to
long
be an Asian woman.
How long that monologue goes on for. It definitely did the thing where it goes on so long. You're like, are you serious? And it's still going. You're like, wow, this is crazy.
Not only is it that he wanted to be butt fucked, but he wanted to be a little Asian girl, man. That's all that he wanted.
Oh, I'm squeezing my eyes shut. I hate that so much. I hate that so much. I didn't really watch anything else. I watched YouTube,
right.
I guess, this week.
All right. So I got a not like lengthy, but I do have some stuff to talk about, and it'll be some stuff that you'll be able to riff off. Which, as we know,
But
last
again,
week,
don't get your hopes up. He said not lengthy. I don't know how long it said that. But it is.
yeah, there's some girth.
What the fuck just happened? Sorry, Matthew, Mister. Cut back in. Start now.
So
That jump cut probably looked like when it probably looked like when that dude comes out of the back of the diner at the first episode of 11/22/63. You know, was that a good poll? All right,
yeah, I already.
there's too many claps. How are you?
We
gonna
are
cut it?
just
Little
coming
editor,
in,
boy.
Brendan, I have some decent things to talk about this week, even though that you had a light week. I'm picking up this week a little bit better. Before we get into that, let's move on to our new segment. Game of the week, folks, is Simpsons Hit and Run. We wanted to talk about this game. Why, Brendan?
This is after seeing the news about the Godzilla games and Toy Story 3 being remastered. This is now top 1 or 2 probably on my needs to be remastered list for me personally.
I think,
and I think there's a lot of agreement to that. I've seen there's a dude on YouTube who's working on making his own remaster of it. I think.
Yep.
But like just make it and just sell it. The Simpsons is still on.
Mm-hmm.
What are you afraid of?
We just had the Fortnite bundle, which did really well. You know, I think it was a lot of fun. That made us feel like we were playing
reinvigorated. So many kids will say, "Oh, look, it's Fortnite Hit and Run. Let's buy that new Fortnite game." They're not even going to see they can't read, dude. They're just going to think it's a Fortnite game. Just put it on the shelves. They will come.
These studios are realizing though that there's money in this. I mean, they're doing it obviously for a reason, and it's that people our age are now getting into these companies at lower positions, and they're finally able to shut up the chain. There's executives stealing these kids' ideas.
Yeah,
they should be.
I think something too is I think we're
at least we're getting good ideas finally. You know?
For sure. And I think we're at a point technologically where I think companies realize it's now a safe time to put out remasters and trust that they'll be playable for a long time.
I mean,
on Steam, on PlayStation Store, like on Xbox Store, you could kind of count on these places. Well, maybe not Xbox, but
I think us getting that Godzilla game remastered is a sign for the overall industry that it's like remasters are on the high. You're getting a Godzilla game that was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That wouldn't have happened.
Atari has a guy that's just killing it. Like there's a dude at Disney and a dude at Atari, and like we're getting a bunch from both of these that we're all nostalgic for because there's just like one dude that's like, this isn't gonna make $1 billion like in Avengers, but we can make like a few million here, if we just release these things again.
There's a lot of weird things with the internet too, where like you'll just have these memories that you lose as a kid, and then all of a sudden you'll see something online and it like opens this like pocket memory that you didn't realize you had this entire time of like this thing you had as a kid.
Pocket memory is a crazy
a video
concept,
game or just something like, you know what I mean? Like you ever see like a certain
sometimes
2000s game
open up the pocket.
Yeah,
there it is. It was in the pocket the whole time.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that a memory in your pocket?
Something.
Or are you just sporting a boner? Me when
pocket
I
boner.
Sport wood. Me when I sport wood versus me when I chop wood. What are you talking about?
I feel like with how many autistic phrases, if this was like a radio show, I feel like we would have a lot of sound.
Boner and a bimbo. Bimbo.
Boner Town.
Welcome to Boner Town. And it would have like a hammer sound effect of a boner being hammered.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for the next few years. I think wasn't it the Sega games that are doing like a big, huge overhaul and like remastering their other collection type games or making new games that
they're trying to recreate their classic franchises.
And I like that stuff. Like I think we're at a period of time now where the remasters or like the
Crazy
age of like getting
now, right?
Yeah, the age, like I was thinking about this the other day. There used to be so many games where it would be like Atari collection, Arcade Classics collection. Like
the Midway collection was the shit for me and my brother Alex. There was like we would play Narcs. That game was so fun. And Xenophobes, which was like a weird side-scrolling spaceship game.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of really random games that we just like have super fun memories of.
You're not getting that as much anymore with these games now going because they're getting more in depth and people want to see like a recreation with modern graphics. And when you have something like Resident Evil where it's like when the copy over to the new thing is so closely followed and they get the atmosphere right and things feel right, it's like this magical thing. Like I didn't play the first Resident Evil. I didn't play the original Resident Evil 2. But I played the remake, and when I played through the remake, something about that game felt so special to me, even not having the nostalgia for the old game. Like, so I would love to see it through the lens of somebody like, I don't know anyone in the age group who played it originally on PlayStation 1 and was like a fan of it and then played it, on the remake. But I would love to like hear what they thought of that because I can only imagine that it was like reinvigorating that childhood memory. And I love that. I think Resident Evil has done great. I think 3 really is the only one that people consider to be like kind of a miss. But people love 2, 4.
It started even with 7.
Yeah.
Right? 7. And then they started the remakes. And then 8.
7 was just, they redid. That was the first one that they did in first person. So it was just kind of like a reimagining of the series.
And like a resetting of
now with 9, they kind of blended the two styles back together, kind of make a new thing.
Yeah, it's like so much like Back to the Future. I guess you guys weren't ready for that yet. Now they're like slowly reintroducing it. It's like, see, you guys like it, don't you?
Yeah.
You want this stuff.
It is like an element of it's going back to that style. Like one of the things I've been playing, James Bond, that game feels like an older styled game, and it's fighting, and like that stuff will happen in it more often because it's badass than it making sense or being realistic. And like I would say that's
cool,
really
man.
the only thing that like feels like Uncharted is just these set piece action moments that are happening in it, which I love. Like there's not tons of climbing segments that make me think of Uncharted. There's not really combat or gun, combat that makes me think of Uncharted. Not that that was bad in Uncharted, but nothing really makes me think about it except for the best thing I can say about Uncharted, which is its set pieces are incredible.
Of course.
I remember every single action segment in one of those games. Every single one's like memorable, like down to the very first one in the first game when you're on the boat chasing the pirates or in the gunfight, like down to 3 in the ship, like the helicarrier, like airplane, like the giant cargo bay one, like hanging off the back end
graveyard that you end up in there.
Yeah, like just so many moments in those games, and like James Bond already being in it so early, like that plane fight was so much fun. I loved that entire combat sequence.
That was really cool.
So
it was also so different from, on paper it's so similar to that scene in Uncharted 3, but playing it, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And it was like really, really cool and unique in its own way. The ways that you got to also interact with it while you were doing it with the tilting, and how you actually could use that in more effective ways if you were thinking about what you were doing.
And that's only like just like one section of this mission.
I just played like one micro snippet.
Yeah, like
and I'm thinking about it.
There's tons of moments in this game, like you'll just be like discovering or investigating something, and you'll be like, there's this nightclub I was telling you about before. You'll walk past somebody and you'll hear somebody be like, yeah, there was this guy that was starting like a fight with the bartender, and like it'll be like, oh, that sounds like the description of this guy that I'm looking for. All of a sudden you'll go up to the bartender and there's like an option to talk to him, and you're like, huh, all right, I guess I'll talk to him. And like then the bartender's like, yeah, this jackass, he walked over to the bathroom. Now like you have like a location or a hint. And so like there's this menu where you can go to the hint. Like to me, it actually almost feels like they looked at like the Arkham games in like how you deduct things and how you're like being like a detective. And then they went, okay, how can we take these crime scene analyses and like take it up a notch?
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy. Like it's not
dynamic.
It's not like they stole it. It's they took it and they did it better. Like if the dynamic was in the Batman games, like if you had segments where you're playing as Bruce Wayne, like let's say we get like the Batman style Batman game, like from the Rocksteady guys, like he's
supposedly
young again.
They are working on a Batman game now, but
yeah,
bated breath on Rocksteady.
I think it'd be sweet if we got like a young one where like it's more like this First Light game where we see Bruce Wayne coming into it, and maybe like even for the majority of the game he's not even Batman, he's just Bruce Wayne trying to figure out how he could take on the corrupt cops and corrupt underworld.
You could even have like a really cool, memorable narrative where it calls back to the original stories where you start off in the game and you are murdering these thugs.
Yeah.
And then at some point you realize you did kill one of them, and that's when like you see him establish his no kill rule. Like maybe he killed someone that he didn't think deserved to die.
Yeah.
Or
like accidentally or something. Yeah.
And then that made him realize maybe I shouldn't ever decide that I get to pick.
I mean, even at this rate, it would be cool, like, if they did something, like, along the lines of, like, the Absolute Batman line, because, like, he just straight up, like, doesn't care if people die in that one. He doesn't go out, like, he doesn't kill people. Yeah. He doesn't, like, go out of his way to, but, like, there's, like, a scene specifically, a comic panel where he just chops a guy's arm off, and he's, like, closest hospital is a few blocks down, and the guy's like, I'm gonna bleed out by then, and he's like, better get to walking. Like, so, like, he doesn't care. I think something like that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff you could do.
Man, I'm still rolling this in my head though. Like, if you do that, like, you don't even have to have any of his Batman villains yet. Like, him overcoming, like him becoming the Batman that we recognize would almost be the final boss. Think about that. Make this game now.
I'll make it, man. I'm making it right now.
It's done. Generated.
What were we saying? Oh, the set pieces in this game have really, like I said, blown me away. But even down to like the elements of just how many games it feels like it takes for them, it doesn't feel like it's ripping anything off. It just feels like it's tastefully like inspired by a lot of things, because it's like you have that watch like I was showing you, and it's like it's just an overlay where you hold it, but when you look around you see guys like the Detective Vision and like the Arkham games. And then like it feels like Watch Dogs, because you'll have these gadget like selections, like for each mission you pick 3 or 4, and you like look around the area and you can like shoot somebody with like a random gadget or whatever, hack this person's phone. You'll see like a generator that has some sort of electric like component or thing that you can hack on it and it'll blow up. Like there's just tons of stuff, like a smoke detector. Like,
what did you say? What you just described made me think of what you said. It was like Watch Dogs, the Arkham games, and Hitman had a baby.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
It is.
I've only heard good things, like to a level of like Uncharted 2 where like people are like surprised it's as good as it is.
The story's good too. I mean, they have a notable actor in it, so I guess it follows that sin of getting actors and CGing them, but so far it's good. It's Morgan from The Walking Dead, the black guy in the beginning that's friends with.
I love that guy. He was also awesome in, I think he was in the show Jericho.
Yeah,
a similar role as in The Walking Dead.
Where I'm at right now,
that show Jericho.
A little bit of a spoiler. I accidentally showed Brendan the sequence without remembering.
Something funny though is like I saw the visual, but then you like proceeded to just explain the entire context. Like that's the spoiler.
You asked for it. You said, "Do they die?" And I go, "Yeah, man, they die." So,
no, man, they're empty coffins, man. You could have lied to me.
His crew is gone, and Morgan. I can't remember his name in the game, but the actor that plays Morgan from The Walking Dead, he is the instructor of the 007 agents. And so the lady who's in charge of the MI6.
I'm just giving context.
She's in charge of them. The new mission that I'm on, because they're dead, she actually makes the two of them team up, and he doesn't like him at all. He's actually made him actually requested or recommended that she didn't pass him through and that he didn't become one of the operatives. So it's like this kind of dynamic thing of like they don't like each other at all. Like they've both said that they don't like each other, but they're both good at their job. They both survived at this point, so they have to work together now.
I've had a coworker like that.
It's kind of badass a little bit though. Like I like, how he is. Like he kind of does that in The Walking Dead, where he plays like this standoffish character really well.
Yeah.
It kind of it jives well. I believe that actor is actually British in real life, because most of the cast of The Walking Dead is like British.
Week when we got distracted by talking about the British, and so you didn't actually talk about James Bond.
Yeah, it's all right though. I didn't play much.
I
of it
felt
at all.
this was a much more analytical conversation about it, so I think it was for the better.
I really wanted to play it today specifically just to give the final bow, and I think it sank its teeth, because this morning when I woke up, I went, man, I gotta play James Bond to talk about it on the show. And now that I played it, I'm going,
crusty Mr. Krabs.
I'm going, I want to finish the I woke up not bummed out, but I was just like, man, I should really play that.
Now that you love the game, and now you're flossing with your money, I said.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it now. Now I actually want to play it and beat it. Like, it's a decent game. It says that it's 12 to 20 hours, which I'm curious how it has that much.
Maybe that mode that I just tried.
Yeah,
I want to be a lot to that actually.
I want to see what it's like. It seems like it has some interesting.
How well did I do immediately? Come on,
pretty well.
Everyone, he said you only have 4 bullets, and I got 4 headshots. that was pretty hype. Come on, man.
Something that I think you'll like is that the game doesn't help you in any way. Like, I mean, it does with certain things like aim assist and like certain things like that. Like the cars aren't punishing, so it does help you feel badass. But like, if you're not good at the game, you will just feel like a clumsy Bond. And I think it's like I was thinking about it in this context of like the way that you like come off as Bond and like how you're like coming up with these like deductions or like how you're like looking at these things. It just like the way that everyone describes him, like he doesn't follow direction. He's like a horrible, like he's disrespectful. He's an asshole. He's not very smart. He's just lucky. It just comes off like he's an autistic guy who's just like very observant about what's going on, and he's like
a master class in situational awareness.
Yeah, like I just kept thinking about if there was like a retarded James Bond, like he's walking up to people like, I noticed, like. I just kept thinking about a retarded guy.
Let's hear the punchline.
No. I kept thinking about a retarded guy.
I'm not going to get you off the hook. Let's hear the punchline.
I kept thinking about a retarded guy walking around a casino going, Bond, James Bond.
Come on, man. Come on. Oh, God.
He's like trying to call out like the dealers. He's like, he thinks each one is like the operative that he has to like interrogate. He's just wrong about every single
He's super sure every single person he speaks to is his target.
He's like, that's good. Moneypenny, he's definitely the bomb carrier.
So
I'm going
dumb.
to hell. Yeah, James Bond's been pretty fun, man.
Money penis. Money penis guy. Ever wrap a dollar bill? Never mind.
Excited to see where it goes.
Luckily, Amazon said that they'll take over the development for the next games.
No way, really?
They might walk it back, but I swear to God, like right after the game came out, they said that.
Yeah, man, I don't know about
How about
that.
you start talking about the next segment? I'm going to pull that up to make sure that I'm not bullshitting.
So, I'm trying to think if there's really anything else. It does a good job of showcasing. I do want to say this: the chapters, like I told you, I haven't played. I played the tutorial and then the full first mission / chapter, and it does feel like a Bond game. Like, again, spoiler: they die in the beginning. You know, your team and everything, and with it just shooting there at the end, like you chased after, you know, the 009 operative. You're now at the funeral. Everyone's kind of saying like, okay, this is what you're going to go into. It does feel like almost like the end of a movie, like the cliffhanger or something, like come back for the next one to see. Like Daniel Craig ones did that a little bit more.
So if you're saying
like,
each amount of time is a movie and how long it is, it's like you're getting a whole era of like this actor's Bond era in this game then. That sounds cool.
I don't know if it's actually like years or anything. I can't imagine that they would make it like that much. Like it just seems like it's like months.
Yeah, he could be back
to weeks. But I mean, it could be cool even if they treated it like that, like get a different actor for each game, and I don't think I would be disappointed with that. Because you could even kind of do something where like this one's like combat's like crazy, like he's like Batman half the time, like beating the shit out of people. Like you could do them where like each Bond is like a little bit different. Like, because here's the thing, honestly, this one takes place in modern day, but I think you and me would be a real sucker for a 1960s James Bond
anthology
game.
007 game where each one's a different James Bond in a different time period, because it doesn't matter, you know.
I would love if we got the rights to like the Sean Connery look and, you know, just get like somebody that kind of sounds like him, get a Sean Connery 1960s James Bond. That would be sweet. You kidding me?
It would be cool. You sold me on that. So they did say that, and then they clarified that they were just saying that they hold the rights to the James Bond games, but that they have a good partnership with IO Entertainment. But it's too early to reveal what's next.
Yeah, all right, Amazon.
So they didn't say, I mean, if they made this, I would just say, we are planning to continue developing more James Bond games with IO if you are, because there's nothing to lose from that. Everyone likes this game.
Yeah.
But you know it's because they want to bring it, they want to move it to somewhere cheaper and want to use what IO has established. Like, they're going to buy it even if it's not as good, so let's do it for cheaper.
IO would be smart
they're
to
gonna do that. Or that they want to do that.
That I wonder if that's why certain things aren't in it, like the Hitman games. I wonder if they had more of a like mutually beneficial agreement, if they would have given more things that were like specifically trademarked from Hitman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I was even thinking about like the disguises and stuff. Like I'm like maybe not like all the time, but like to some degree, it would be kind of cool to see that.
Is that something Bond does?
It
doesn't sound that far out of line. I can't recall it happening.
Where like you're dressed as a driver, and I found a chauffeur's hat. So I was wondering if like because I was walking in this restricted area, if it would make it work. But so far, I haven't seen anything where like a disguise comes into play that it actually like gets you through anywhere. Like it just seems like it's cosmetic things.
You haven't even gotten your tux yet.
No, there's still a lot to discover. The
You
game
have-
really makes you work for it, though. I mean, I've been in it a couple hours at least now.
You have a long, strong piece of James Bond sticking out in front of you. Enjoy.
All right, let's go.
Report back next week and enjoy.
Oh, I'll cut back.
What he's going to do is he's going to pull back James Bond's foreskin and use a toothbrush to clean out the objects that have accumulated inside. Now, what you're probably asking is, can you maybe bottle this substance and maybe pickle the substance, resell the substance, maybe make a myth of the substance? Because myths last longer than men.
So, we're going to be reporting back next week about James Bond. I'm going to be finishing it. It's a good game.
That's right.
Something that I just wanted to briefly mention, because you're still in the process of watching it. I don't really want to spoil it for you, so I'm going to just let you watch it. Spider-Man Noir. I enjoyed it. Wasn't anything like amazing, but I'm excited that we're getting a season 2. Like I think it was consistently good.
Wasn't
I think there was
amazing,
things that were
spectacular.
wasn't spectacular.
Wasn't $20.99.
It was friendly neighborhood.
Was it?
No.
He seemed really grumpy
He was
from
pretty
what I've seen
grumpy.
so far.
Yeah. No, it was a fun watch. I mean, on paper, it's a weird thing, but like, I just wanted to mention it because, like, you know, discussing like our game of the week and some of these things that we've been discussing over the weeks, like weird things like this are happening more and more, that it gets me excited because like this kind of stuff is what I want to see more of. It's a positive step in the right direction for this kind of stuff. I think
it's the best Spider-Man content Sony has produced without, Marvel Studios involvement in a long time. So,
yep.
I mean, aside from Spider-Verse, you could argue, aside from Spider-Verse, but
maybe this is like
action.
the route. Like, don't make these movies. Give it under the banner of a TV show. Let it be
right.
timed,
Especially
like,
now that you've seen the MCU fall, like just focus on making a good movie.
the casting
Please.
for most of these movies, funny enough, never look horrible. I mean, like you have Tom Hardy as Venom. You have, Jared Leto, who's not like necessarily horrible and stuff.
What's
like
his head as Craven?
Yeah, that.
What is his head?
I can't remember his name.
His head. James Taylor.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Got it.
Aaron
Thank you.
Taylor Johnson. Yep.
James Taylor.
Him
Who's that?
especially, he's a good actor. Like I would have thought he would have done good as Craven.
I remember when he was wasted along with Bryan Cranston in 2014 Godzilla. Do you?
I do.
And then I remember the next year when, not alongside Bryan Cranston, but he was wasted in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yep. Yeah.
Continue.
It's just exciting to see this stuff. It goes along the lines of what I wanted to talk about. Show that I finished finally. I discussed it a little bit. I just was never at a point where I had like a ton to talk about it. I just kind of wanted to finish it. But Andor, I watched it finally.
Season 1 or the whole show?
The first season. I'm gonna probably
I've only
wait.
watched season 1.
Yeah, I figured maybe we could discuss season 2 together.
I
That'd
definitely
be nice
want to. I don't know what I'm holding up with it. That's just one of those things I don't get to.
Yeah, I
Probably
mean, I
just
get
a
it.
Star Wars.
I want a break, definitely. I have other stuff that I need to do. So I'm just gonna kind of take a break for now. But that first season was great. Like, I mean, I haven't watched.
Let's watch it in like 2 months when I'm playing that Star Wars XCOM game.
Yeah,
we'll have like a little Star Wars moment.
I think everything about that show had like a nuance to it that didn't feel walked over before. It had like planets that I felt I hadn't seen before. It had atmosphere just like Rogue One, where
the set design, the costume design.
Yes, it wasn't
awesome
relying
flavor.
on fucking green screen the entire time. You know, it wasn't fake
And it's
sets;
still
it's real locations.
And like even when like Kenobi isn't on the volume screen, it's like you just walked outside of Los Angeles and you're just like walking around on the hills recording.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And then you watch Andor, it feels like Star Wars in such a cool way.
Bad when you're watching The Mandalorian or Obi-Wan and you go, the set design of these shows
really
look
obvious.
no better than the original trilogy. Like, how is it that after all this time we can't get like Lord of the Rings level like on-set filming? It just looks better these days, and with the amount of money that they throw into the CGI, like, why
Andor
not
good,
pay
but
these
that
actors
was a
to
very
get them to
expensive
go
show.
and get them on location? But like, do you know what I mean? Like, how much money goes into the CGI for Game of Thrones to make a fucking dragon?
I don't know.
When they could just build a rig and actually, like, you know, like, there's so many things like this where I guarantee you their budget is just bloated as fuck because of the CGI and things that they're going to be using for these things, like what Alien Romulus did with the Xenomorph, like making an actual animatronic or rig just helps. You can use CGI as an element, but like to me, I think there has to be some amount of real practical effect to be able to see, like the old Iron Man suits, I think to me still look the best when they use partial practical, partial CGI.
Yeah, you even watch Avengers Infinity War now, and you can kind of see the floating head. Like, there's just something to it where those effects look worse over time.
Yeah.
And even in Infinity War, you can kind of see the Tony Stark floating head thing when his mask is up. But even, like, think about when he's being a jackass at his house party in 2, when he's in the full suit with the helmet up, and how that doesn't have that at all. Because he was wearing that, at least the top part.
It might look clunkier and it might not be able to be as cool.
Those suits were clunkier and they were cooler for it.
It's something that isn't bad. Like, I don't need him to be able to like shapeshift into something super quickly.
Right, he didn't need to become Green Lantern.
Part of it that's dumb
He became
to me.
Green Lantern.
Part of me thinks that it would have been cooler. Like, why couldn't we just get the explanation that he made a suit out of adamantium or out of vibranium? That like, yeah, I don't. Did we
Because
ever
it was
get a
nanobots,
vibranium
Connor.
suit?
No.
Like, that's the thing to me. It's like, why? Like, even if it was plating or something, like, okay, the outside plating is vibranium. Like, let's see what that looked like.
They're like this little circle of metal makes Captain America like one of the best soldiers in human history. Then we find this planet with like infinite amounts of it. Use nothing for no one. They're like, I. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Andor.
Give Nick Fury an adamant, vibranium eye patch. Thoughts on that? Think about it.
Enough of the MCU. Enough of the MCU. Andor. We need more things like Andor. Star Wars, it's egregious to me. How is Andor, the side character in, not even the main character in Rogue One, get a better show than Obi-Wan? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
I have thought about this. I remember I said that to you when I first watched both shows. I don't remember which. Andor came out first.
Yeah.
When I first watched Obi-Wan, I remember saying that to you. Like, dude, it makes me so mad that there's all this production behind Andor, and you've wasted Obi-Wan so clearly.
Who's making the judgment call on that? I mean,
I don't remember the year, but Kathleen Kennedy stepped down. Dave Filoni stepped in as the creative director at Lucasfilm. Now, the word was that Dave Filoni doesn't like Andor generally. as Star is just not what he likes from Star Wars, but that Kathleen Kennedy had shielded the production from him changing things about the show. But it was also like told as this. But I think to get to the root of what you're saying, Andor was good because it came from an idea to tell a story about a character from Tony Gilroy.
Yeah,
he wrote the show. Right, he
was it
he helped write Rogue One.
Okay,
like
that's what I was.
He wrote this. Like he has wanted to tell this backstory, and he got so much resources to do it. And he had such a concise vision that he stayed true to, and it just like the scenes with Skarsgård, like we were talking about earlier, just how badass he is, and you just see a different angle of the early rebellion.
They did the thing again where they made these Imperial officers scary again. I mean, when you see him like working for the Empire or like posing like as like basically on these ships and things, like he plays the role very confidently and like menacingly a little bit. Like you don't know where he stands at a few different times throughout the show. It kind of feels like there's a couple episodes where it's like you'll watch it and it's like from the get-go you go, okay, he's kind of like setting everything up here, so it seems like he is, but like it almost makes you think that he's like kind of a double agent on both ends sometimes, like, and I like that shifting because I think it is interesting to like show that, and I like where it like shows off now where, you know, kind of ends with it basically showing like the two of them are going to work together, and it's, I don't know, it made me feel happy to watch something Star Wars and not feel like burnt out, I guess. It's something that I wanted to see, like
That
just a
show has
regular
been, like, the
story.
light for people that have like watched everything. That show is like the light of like why we haven't completely written Star Wars off.
Yeah,
And the fact that, like we were saying
sure.
a few weeks ago, like the developers of these games, they also seem to get it.
Yeah,
Just this year with XCOM 1 and the Galactic Racer, those both look
sweet.
really fun.
Like the Burnout.
I plan to get multiple hours out of both of those games.
Yeah, I think we'll be playing that.
Tom, man, what did you think overall of the prison break arc of Andor season 1? And what did you think of? I know I told you about this years ago, but of Andy Serkis being like the main secondary character in that arc.
I liked what I think this show did weirdly better, which I didn't expect it to do, was it had the classic Star Wars pacing of taking segments where, you know, like I knew he went to prison, but with the time that he went, I didn't see it coming. I was like so jarred by like, cause he just changed his identity or whatever. They don't even know that he's Andor. They arrest him.
They just got him for something completely different.
Yeah, it was just them being assholes. It's literally it. They like basically just arrest him just to show that the Empire's just doing this to random people, basically just to get slaves. And so like that aspect of it was so cool because I didn't expect it. And like getting somebody so big like Andy Serkis just feels like classic Star Wars to me in the sense of
It's
like
so much good
now he's
dialogue,
going to be
so
in
many
this.
good scenes between those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of good dialogue. I love like the scenes when he's trying to get information from him. Like, you're going to be out of here soon anyways. Like, just give me the info that you have now so I'll know what to do when you're gone.
That's the real American Squid Game.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Those episodes.
It's crazy to me that it does Star Wars better than something like, you know, Mandalorian now, like the movie. I would have thought that in 2019, I would have thought that a movie, after watching that first season in 2019, I would have thought that 5 years later, that there would be a good Mandalorian movie. I would have hoped that it would have continued its trajectory of being surprising and
character development. Or like,
no.
Just, like,
we don't even like Pedro
happened.
Pascal now. There was a time period where we were excited to see Pedro
What
Pascal
happened?
and everything.
Why don't we like Pedro or Star Wars? What happened?
It's ruined, man. The 2020s
ruined it.
ruined them.
You ruined it. That's why we're getting more into music. Con Man because more and more things are getting ruined elsewhere.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I might sneeze. So I didn't sneeze after all, thank God.
Let's change over here to the last thing that I saw last week with you. We finally sat down and you rewatched a movie with me that you just watched. You mentioned it on a previous episode, 1 Hour Photo.
1 Hour Photo.
Starring Robin Williams. Something that
blonde,
you watched
blonde.
Right after
Blonde buzz cut, Robin Williams.
Right after Backrooms. This was a movie that he claimed to be inspired off of, right?
He said visually, yeah, like
which
from a cinematography perspective.
Visually, the movie has very much Backrooms elements. Some very fucking hilarious shots that we've been sending back and forth with each other. Just wide shots of Robin Williams walking or staring and off in the. We like those shots a lot.
Or him
characters staring off
in his recliner with his photo wall behind him.
Yeah, a lot of good scenes in that. You described the movie perfectly, being a blend of American Beauty and American Psycho. Yeah, American.
Yep, just a coincidence.
True America. Kind of odd, also, that it has to do with Walmart, a big American staple. Salmart or something like that.
It's
Safe Mart.
Salmart. It's Save Mart.
Satan Mart.
It's SAV Mart, but he says it's Save Mart. And it's the what's his name? But it's the same boss from Office Space, which was like a year after it. Yeah. He's in a very similar kind of antagonistic role. It's fun.
It is funny watching him play the same like kind of duncy character.
I think I like to read like the trivia on IMDb. Yeah. And apparently Robin Williams was auditioning for the manager role, and then he asked to be the lead.
He definitely killed it.
Yeah,
that was a great job.
He knew he could do it. He did.
Robin Williams doesn't get credit enough for like the serious roles.
What's crazy about this, I don't know how they did it, but he actually filmed this right after his suicide. Come on, that was so bad. Jesus.
It wasn't even funny. It was the lowest grab you could have pulled. Yeah.
Don't worry, you're not going to keep that in.
Brendan, I have some things that I wrote down this week that I wanted to talk about with you.
Okay.
So, I want to say real quickly.
Uh-oh.
I didn't want to talk about it a ton because you talked about it, but I just wanted to say I did like the movie overall. It was great, fun.
Pause. What movie?
1 Hour Photo.
Oh, right.
Just to cap it off, you know.
Yeah.
It was good. I agree with you pretty closely. Our opinions on stuff seem to be typically pretty aligned. So this was one of those things where
you and Zion did 3 stars. I think I did 3.5, and it is that thing. Again, I just love movies that let you soak in the aesthetic of it, like Risky Business.
Yeah.
Really get into that. I really get into that.
I do too. I'm enjoying these weird little one-off movies that we find sometimes. Something I wanted to talk about, just kind of on the topics of like some of these things being like more industry generalized. You know, we were talking about like Star Wars and the overall like trajectory. We were talking about remasters. Something lately that's been in a lot of like mainstream things is just increasing prices generally. Obviously, the inflation and just general right now is kind of pretty bad.
Yeah.
Right now, the gaming industry, I feel like, is feeling it pretty hard with consoles going up. Xbox went up to, what was it, 800 or?
I think 749 is the new MSRP for the Series X.
You're figuring with tax and everything, you're going to be spending damn near 850, probably 800.
I think the Series S is now 500.
That's so
and that
crazy,
was 200.
I
think it was Black Friday. I think it was Black Friday of 2022. You could get those for $200 with a game.
So crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a little amount of time. And we're not spouting anything off new. I mean, everyone gets that stuff's going up, but it's tough right now with the type of people, you know, the demographic of people that play video games, especially Xbox or consoles. You don't have the type of money to be dropping like that on consoles. And so with games now coming out, you're going to have a hit now kind of gatekeeping the consoles from people, not allowing them really to play these things. It's going to be tough
Yeah, I can
I
see that.
foresee it being an issue in the next 5 years if we don't have like a quick relief, which I don't foresee it being a quick relief. I foresee it maybe being a gradual.
Right. Like,
work down.
could we really expect these things to come back down when economic things stabilize, or is it going to be like just stop increasing and
listen,
be happy with it?
I'm definitely somebody that always is going to hold out hope, or just like not even necessarily hold out hope, but I know just with how things go, there's a pendulum of some sort. Like everything that goes to one end surely has to come back to the other end eventually, depending on whatever that
Pendulum.
Yeah, the pendulum.
Barely know 'em.
You hit, I hit, we all hit. It comes around, goes around. I do think there's a time where it comes back. I do think it's going to be gradual, and so, not to make it political, but to just correlate that with the gaming industry, I don't foresee it being a quick come down. I think these things are going to stay pretty expensive
As
for right
soon
now.
as we can get this straight up Hormuz open, the prices will come back down, man.
I think
Just kidding around.
I think we'll see a gradual decrease over the years as things start to get a little bit better. And I just think that's going to be harder for games that are coming out now that are going to be needing these sales and things to be getting people.
Yeah.
I wonder even like games like Call of Duty or Madden, games that do have a lot of these cheaper player bases or more just generalized. Like I know a lot of guys that I work with that if they saw an Xbox for $800 or close to it, they're going to go, I'm not even going to worry about getting it. I'll just do something else. I don't even play it really hardly. Like you lose out on a lot of casual gamers is my point.
Right. Like, a thing about gaming has been, it's been pretty recession proof because the prices have been able to stay the same.
Right.
Because normally consumer electronics fall during a recession when people have less money to buy things.
I think Colin Moriarty's talked about that before. I kind of remember him either talking about something he wrote during the recession or just a statement that he made. Either way, his thought was just that people, I guess, were concerned about it before when the recession was happening. And he said in 2007, like there was such a boom of consoles being bought that it's funny because even though there were
the 360 was the king of the world for those 2-3 years.
You have to think people didn't have time. They're not going to be going out and doing stuff as often. So what is a cheap alternative to be able to take up your time? It is, but gaming. There's also a huge boom of getting culturally huge COVID. Gaming. Icons in. They had Halo 3, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. BioShock. Like how many games came out? Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
So it's I think that we're getting these time periods back where things are coming back. It's just there's going to be ups and downs with the economy, and I think that affects
it's just
what
weird.
Things come out.
Never ever
once
has
it's bottlenecked or once it's set.
But like it just is backwards economically that something comes out and then 6 years later is 30, 50% more.
Yeah. Well, and that's been talked about, like how games should have been more expensive a lot longer. Like games were held to be cheap until things got bad, and then all of a sudden the prices went up to what they should have been. And now it's kind of bordering that point where people go, games are probably going to just keep rising until we get to games basically being $100 per game, I think is pretty much where it's going. And a lot of people just aren't going to spend $100 on a video game.
I like indie games more anyway these days.
But here's the thing now. If games are going to be $100 and indie games are going to obviously then become the main source, we've already seen cases where Steam has tried to be shut down or tried to not be able to be let to be as free or user friendly as it is, just being a platform where people can make their stuff and be on there relatively with ease. I mean, a lot of things get passed on Steam, and the thing that I fear is with mainstream stuff starting to go down and with prices going up, people stopping buying these expensive games. I feel that they're going to then start to target these places and try to get rid of more of the independent scene to then make it so that way the only games that you can get are from these big studios. So now you have to go and buy the expensive games. You have to buy these games that they tell you or they make for you. Like it's just like a weird sense of control that does kind of scare me a little bit to a sense. Like, we gotta make sure that these things are protected, and I do think that's like by supporting these indie developers or these certain studios, like you just see a lot of it. Like, I mean, even James Bond, it's like IO doesn't own the rights to that. Like, Amazon could just drop them at any point and go and get whatever stuff. Amazon isn't the reason the James Bond game is good. IO is. So 100%. It's like, I think these companies, they wrap up, like, you know, EA, they get BioWare, they get, you know, Pandemic, they get whoever they get at the time, and you always see it happens like in this routine thing of like they pick them up, they make a few good games, and they just start to warp them. All of a sudden they start to make them more corporatized. They
get it, they use it up, and they throw it away. It's
like clockwork. I mean, you look at all of these studios, it's clockwork with these big corporate AAA studios. Mm-hmm. They can't keep a good studio going. And I think,
did you see that hundreds of people from Bungie were laid off like a day or two ago? Everyone that worked on Destiny does not work there anymore.
It's a sense of like they're losing the voice, and independent studios are going to be the only things that are going to be fun if these studios don't cohabitate, and they're just pushing them out right now. So it's something that, like, who knows, you know, 5 years, maybe the landscape will be completely different, but it's just something that I think should be talked about, something that should be looked at and should be contemplated in how we buy and how we choose to give our money to certain things, because us as the people are going to have to kind of stand, like, gamers are going to have to stand firm with what things we're going to do and what things we're going to buy. Don't buy Game Pass if it keeps going, you know, incrementally up and up. Don't keep buying it.
I did subscribe after they lowered it a bit again, especially on PC. $14 a month is not bad, in my opinion. Even thinking about that in like the worst way possible, I kind of think two things happen. Because there is kind of a conspiracy, maybe not really a conspiracy because there's evidence to support it, that there are entities that are encouraging governments to take Valve to court over things, because there are corporations or people that don't like the voice that Steam gives to people, how libertarian, how like anyone can become a Steam developer and price within reason any game at whatever price they want. Whatever games are put on there by these companies, we are free to review bomb and shit on and have that big red overwhelmingly negative thing on that Steam page that everyone, like, if I see even like mostly positive at this point, I'm like not really gonna stay. If I'm on the fence and I see mostly positive, I'm like,
They just want everything to be like slop. Like, do you ever notice like how hard it is to really get a conclusive idea of like how good a movie is anymore? Like, it used to just be you check a few sites and like there's still certain things that I check. You know, I trust IMDb and like Letterboxd, I'd say, usually for.
I think that just reporting in general is at an all-time low across the world.
My point is just that it's just like they want everything to be slop. Like you even get it with YouTube. Like, you don't even see the like-dislike ratio anymore. Like, they don't want anyone.
They don't want people that have a voice. They don't want you to judge the content. They want
to be able to choose what you're watching.
They don't want there to be any barriers between you and giving them money or using your time to experience this.
I mean, even in the sense of like that, like what we're doing, you know, trying to build an audience on YouTube, it's all based off of their algorithm that they push. Yeah. So it is, in a sense, still what these corporations choose. And there's a sense of freedom in the sense that you subscribe to, but at the same time, they'll push this show or this show 5 times more than they'll push certain shows just for whatever reason, whether it be something
Where is the marketing for Widow's Bay? What's going on?
For lots of shows from popped up
under the. That's just, it's got to be just an MGM Plus thing, though.
It does to a degree, but
then
like
leads you to the question of why even have MGM Plus be a thing that exists ever. I don't know.
Stuff is going back to like the 2000s because stuff is so.
That's in a derogatory way.
They have found this way to make everything right there in front of you. Everything is so accessible nowadays. But like you're on Netflix. I mean, I was on DoorDash the other day, right? DoorDash used to be so simple. I thought about this the very first time I went on to DoorDash. They had a tab option. You go up to the very top. They have Mexican, fast food, all of the stuff that laid out that you might want, like convenience store, everything, every type of food. Now you go on there, it's like most recent, it's most used in your county, most like everything is like an app, like a social media thing. Like, oh, do you want to see like the reviews in your area? Like, look at this place, it has 4.8 stars, like Yelp. And it's like, I just liked when, I know what's on DoorDash. I'm not looking to see like everything. It's not that reviews are bad, obviously that's fine, but like when I open an app and I can't tell, I've used this app for years, I know where everything's at, and now something's changed where I can't figure it out, and it's just not the same app, like from start to finish, like
There's
it used
some
to be.
psychological thing for marketing as like
Being confused.
Yeah,
they want you on
yeah,
the app
like
longer.
like the recreating of the UI makes it like feel newer in our heads, and like it's just a marketing thing. Like
It's
I
just
don't know.
too much. It needs
Yeah.
to be set back like a few feet, like a
Yeah.
few steps,
Because it
not
seeps
just
into
one.
every facet of everything.
It's everything. It's
It's how you make games. It's how you sell games. It's starting to be how you design games, and how you market. Like these, yeah.
I saw there's a comedian that I like a lot named Tim Dillon, and he's gay, and like he doesn't appear as like a very like feminine person or anything. Like he seems like if you saw him you would assume that he was a straight guy. That stuff he jokes about, but he's a gay man, and he was talking about his gripes with how all these corporations will use Pride Month as like something to like showcase like their company or whatever.
All the pictures.
And he's like a lot of people are wondering, they're like, why is my bank gay? Like, when did my bank come out as gay?
Yeah.
And
You're like, can't you just be my bank
Yeah.
every month?
He was
please?
talking about, he's like, I look at things like why gay marriage is down 11 points, and he goes, I look at a lot of the general audience as people that are fine with people living however they want to live, but he goes, they're still contemplating, why is my Chase Bank gay? Like, why is my Chiboni yogurt gay? Like, or trans? Like, it is something where these corporations, they
They're making
find
the
one
yogurt
thing.
trend. That's crazy, actually. I didn't hear about that.
They make one thing and they just beat a dead horse. They think it just works. It's like the MCU or these superhero movies. Like, we need to find ways to make new things, but make it in ways where it's actually new and invigorating. Like something like Obsession, like these movie studios are latching on to this director now, offering him like, tons of money for his next movies because they don't understand what to do anymore. They see somebody come in and do this, and through the odds, the 1% odds, make it and get all this money. It's just like Jordan Peele.
Can't
Like,
just be greed, though. Like these guys are morons at every one of these companies.
but like
I think that's what it is. Like they're all so stupid. I think that's the problem, man.
Jordan Peele, I think, was one of the first ones to do it, where you look at how quickly he launched. Like, he went from being somebody who did stand-up comedy and did skit comedy. He was on like an SNL, like smaller SNL rival called Mad TV. It was the same like brand as that cartoon Mad and the Mad magazines, but it was like their sketch comedy show.
Okay.
So he started off on that with his partner Key,
Who now does tater tot commercials?
I guess so.
I'm sure he's well off, but different careers.
Yeah. He made Get Out, and then it was like just night and day. He's like an instant like Artur in his craft.
It's like they see a good idea, and it's like Jordan Peele's obviously very talented. It's like a lot of like ideas are cheap.
There's a lot of correlation specifically in comedy and these drama scenes, because you have to think too. I loved Key and Peele, which is the show that he was on with his partner. They had so many sketches where it would be horror sketches. Like I remember they had one where like one of them was like the demonic entity like crawling around the walls and stuff. Like they did tons of stuff like that where it was like super fucking funny with like a horror aesthetic or like scheme in mind. And Curry Barker did the same thing with his YouTube sketches. Like, so like you see people, they have a creative idea, and I genuinely think comedy offers an atmosphere to be more creative than a lot of these movies, because they want to make it corporate. They want to make it like it's guidelined and
accessible, or
when you
digestible.
Digestible. Mortal Kombat was, to me, Mortal Kombat 2 was the epitome of that type of writing, where they go, all right, we need to pull this and this and this from the game. We need to have a callback to this character. We need to have this guy say this because he said it in the game. So how are we going to write this story now with everything in place? And it's like, no. Typically, this is starting from like a director calls the studio and goes, hey, I got a great script that I just wrote up for Mortal Kombat. I'm really like invested. I love the games. Give it a read. Let me know what you think. That's where it should be. Not like, hey, we're going to dissect all of this stuff. We're going to add this, this, and this. And that's what I think the corporate versus the independent does. Like, I heard Curry Barker in an interview talk about what he's going to do with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he said he hasn't written it yet, but he said, like, he's like, I want to channel the old one while also, like, having it feel... Like, he's like, I don't want to change it. He's like, I just want to try to bring, like, some kind of new light to it to make it, like, accessible to the new generation to see what was important about the original. He's like, I want it to still be about a bunch of friends going on a road trip and them discovering this house. And
It'd be cool if we had a visionary redefine what a slasher could be in a way that's like, you never thought a slasher could have a story this compelling or characters this memorable. I guess people would argue Scream is that. I think for me, it's not.
Yeah, I don't.
If it was, I think we'd see more movies like Scream since Scream, and I don't think we have.
I think he's gonna do a good job, and I think it's that he's funny. I think they're like, I think especially with a slasher, I think you have to have some comedy sense. It's definitely somewhat of a grim time sometimes when you think about it, but it's just an important time to keep in mind that we need to be intentional with what we buy, intentional with what we play.
Worst case worst, and I mean this wholeheartely, if I never ever was presented with a new video game, I have enough to play for the rest of my life.
You have your niches.
You would if you didn't want to buy new games, you would find yours too. Right?
I definitely could. You know how I like to play. I could definitely
there's a platform
like once a month
play
go
as
play
a
old
taxi
games.
cab called Crazy Yellow Taxi Cab, and it's so fun. It's like the best version of Crash Bandicoot you'll ever see in your life.
If it got bad to the point where I'm talking about where it's like dystopian, I'm just gonna fully lean into just playing old games. That's gonna be my aesthetic. I'll play Xbox.
If the nukes drop, we will be playing Gran Turismo 1 on the PS1.
Yeah. I wrote down something else here that I wanted to talk about. It's kind of along the same lines of the fears that I have with games. And this is about really the overall direction of James Gunn's DCU. We know that WB's been in a lot of financial trouble, and it being that primarily that DC hasn't been a very profitable thing for them in the movie scheme. In fact, they dropped kind of a lot of money. I guess their last Visionary, weirdly enough, did make them a decent amount of money, like with Aquaman getting to like $1 billion and like a couple other things. Like it did make
in China. I guess, right?
Yeah, they did make money off of the first Shazam movie and Aquaman enough that it was a profitable section. So it's kind of funny
Batman
that
vs Superman also cracked $1 billion.
Yeah,
right. For as much shit as that movie unrightfully gets, especially the Ultimate Edition.
These movies right now, I mean, Superman wasn't as hot as it should have been. I think everyone could see that. Like, it should have done a little bit better. It made enough that I think it profited, but it like wasn't so far to the point where it was like making them buco bucks. And they are looking at stuff like that because if they're just breaking even on these movies, then why are they wasting their time if they're sinking money? If they're sinking into the hole, they need money-making products. And to me right now, like where they're at, I think it's dangerous. I think it's a little dangerous, to be honest, with James Gunn's idea to be jumping immediately into like these more obscure characters. I get that he
If
wants to
Supergirl
make...
has been received better, it would be so much more reasonable to be like, oh, Clayface is next, cool. But now it's like, oh no, Clayface is next.
I know, and that's the thing is it opened with 18 million. Me and you were not talking about going to see this movie at all, like opening weekend. I mean, we figured we would see it, but I mean, now with the reviews, I definitely will just wait until it's on a Tuesday and go and see it.
Likely to, yeah. I've not gone and seen Star Wars on Tuesdays, even though it's $5 movie Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But I will absolutely use free time on a Tuesday if I have it
To go
to see
see it.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much of it is like complaining, but when I was looking at the soundtrack, while it doesn't follow like the same sin of being exactly like the, you know, Guardians-esque or like just James Gunn style now at this point, there's still some sense of it being like, there was enough songs on there that I'm like, if there's a needle drop like all of these times, I'm going to be pissed. Like I just don't want that editing style anymore.
Right. If you're not gonna make the movie, James, don't have people try and don't hire people that are just gonna emulate you and worse. Because that's what I'm.
And
I don't want to judge the movie I haven't seen. I'm more so talking about I'm disappointed in the state of the DCU already. It's frustrating.
I'm not happy with his director choices so far. Like Peter Safran. Or is Safran the guy that directed it, or is he I think that's the guy that co-runs it with him.
Yes,
whoever is the director of Supergirl, when I looked at his discography, I'm like, why is this guy directing this?
And then the Flash director's still doing the
Batman.
Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
like Crusaders.
why?
I mean, right?
What has this guy done that makes you think he needs to direct Batman? Like,
right?
Why are we not? Here's the thing: we have a Batman. We have Robert Pattinson. Like, he is the Batman.
I'm so sick. I
don't need another Batman. Just make him.
Here's a clip for you, right? I'm so sick of adaptations that do not get or try to get the source material. If you're not going to look at the source material and just make the thing good, just don't bother. I don't care.
Yeah. I think that James Gunn didn't realize that stuff was going to probably be at this level of like a disarray. I think maybe the idea or the intentions when this was planned was that the financial side of things would be a little bit better than it is currently. I don't think people probably expected it to be as bad. But the thing to me right now, looking at it, that I feel like he must be going like, oh shit, is like, this would have been the perfect time to just almost carbon copy the footing of the original MCU with the DCU. Just make a Superman movie, make a Batman movie, make a Flash movie, make a Wonder Woman movie, and do it right. Stick to it. Make a Justice League movie.
How was
do
there
these
not...
elements where you have actual interesting stories and characters in it. Like,
there's nothing that can change the fact that the second movie out of the gate clearly didn't have the right eyes on the script. Because I've heard universally that the script is just really weak.
That's a rough thing for the second movie. That's a rough thing for a corporate person to go and look at and say, your second movie off of this big project is already this, you know, has this many holes in it. What are the rest of the, you know?
Yeah, and that's really what...
And we don't have information.
I don't want to sound like an asshole talking, like, shitting on Supergirl specifically, having not seen it. But it is like, this should have been a slam dunk. It's your second movie.
You just
can't already be missing.
Again, it makes me mad as to, like, why do we have Supergirl as the second movie? To me, we don't have information on who's playing the Batman. We don't have information on when we're getting things like a Wonder Woman or Flash or Justice League adaptation. We don't have any of these things yet because they don't want to fully invest. And they don't want to fully invest because they don't know if it's financially suitable yet.
They
or
started
profitable.
with Superman. I think, like, yes, they're being way too cute, especially after Supergirl's reception. They're being way too cute with what they're putting out.
Yeah.
They need to stop. But then I also think they did open with Superman, and it was, like, lukewarm received, and it was a pretty good movie. So like, what are they supposed to just do Batman? Like, what are they supposed to do then?
I think they're at a point right now.
I would have lost my mind seeing Superman not like light the world on fire. I'm like that. Like that was like this is our big guy. This is Superman.
Yeah,
and he barely made a dent. If we're being honest, it barely made a dent in anything in culture. There was like, like I don't really think about it hardly at all, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't a very pivotal.
Look how much. Movie. Look how well my phone matches this table.
That's a nice aesthetic, man.
I don't know what it is. I just noticed that.
We need to get some more action. We need to get things moving. Clayface looks cool. I hope that it is cool, but like you said, I'm not feeling great after
There
this.
is the angle that there should be no attempt of any James Gunn emulation. So anything related to that sort of criticism that I have seen coming out of Supergirl,
I'm holding.
It would be
full on
much
judgment
more concerning if this
until...
movie was bad. If it was way different and also bad, I'd be like, oh my god, just don't bother. Seriously,
I'm waiting.
How much is riding on Clayface now?
I'm waiting to see what happens with Lanterns because that's next. Even though it's a show,
even if the show is good, if Clayface bombs and there's the likelihood this all gets unraveled, especially with the merger that might not be happening with Paramount and how that's wrapped up in the government or might not be, whatever. Like I have little if people aren't like talking about Clayface, I am very worried. Because like realistically, like what can Man of Tomorrow theoretically do? Like they what's the best case scenario that can do to like really pump people up? Like how good of a Man of Tomorrow trailer can you make?
I think listen, there's money in these things. They're not gonna drop it until there's. They did announce
the Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd show. That is real. That was not a fake thing that I sent you.
I know.
I'm very excited of it. Seeing the memes of like the average Jimmy Olsen subplot, the SpongeBob in the weird basement meme.
There's hope for this still. I'm not going to jump fully to it. I more so mean I want to see what Lanterns looks like because James Gunn showboated that at first, that was one of his favorite things to come out.
Yeah, I think this just comes from both. I think for both of us, we like DC a little more than Marvel on the whole.
We want to see it do well.
Want, like, is this frustrating? Please make good. Only make the good scripts. Make sure the scripts are. James Gunn said the scripts are going to be good. Don't approve scripts that are people pretending to write your scripts. Then, please.
Yeah, it sucks. I've always said that it sucked that out of the two, that Marvel was always the one that was better. I only ever liked X-Men and Spider-Man out of Marvel, like almost equally to DC. But everything else, like I never cared about.
Before the Avengers movies,
never cared about
Justice League was way bigger and way cooler.
Yeah, I didn't care about Thor. I didn't care about Captain America. I didn't care about Iron Man. But I don't know. I hope that they do something new and something different, but we'll see. I'm going to just keep out with some hopeful eyes for
Iron Man 1 is better than every Superman movie. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
But that is my take. Iron Man 1 is better than every Superman movie.
So I think that pretty much gets us close to wrapping up here. I have one last little thing that I wanted to mention, and then you can give your
hyper interest from last year, DC animation.
Yes, sir. I wrote down some things that I wanted to talk about this week. We got an announcement about a couple things. A trailer dropped for the animated Batman Nightfall movies, which are going to be 3 parts. All rated R. Going to be looking like they're going to be pretty violent. Be dark, definitely. The story. Have you ever read this story? I know you know what it is.
I have not read it, but having a very DC-centric comics dad, there was countless stories where he'd be like, there's a Batman story where, and he would always say there was a story where Bane set up Batman to have to face all the villains during an Arkham outbreak he orchestrated, so that by the time he got to face Bane, he was just completely mentally and physically spent.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it is.
But no, I didn't read it.
It's probably one of the coolest storylines I've ever read because they have a new kind of sidekick into the Bat family, and it's a guy named Azrael who shows up like in the Arkham games.
He's originally in that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I know him well. I had his action figure, and he was in the Arkham. I knew him in Arkham City. I was like, I have his toy.
Azrael, when he breaks his back, they realize they need Batman, so they make like a robot Batman suit for Azrael.
I had that toy of that suit.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It's
Love
so
that
cool.
thing.
Like there's just a lot. I don't want to spoil anything because the story I think could be cool, especially if the movies are cool. There
It is
could
worth
be a
noting.
sweet build up to it.
It's worth noting that the absolute worst DC animated products have been the adaptations of beloved Batman storylines. So keep that in mind.
It's true.
We don't know yet.
We have another announcement this week in the Batman animated topics that we are getting a absolute Batman animated series, which with things like Invincible right now kicking off, if we could get something like
Now's the
that
time. Now's the
going,
time. Yeah, they pretty much announced
Could be
DC
sweet.
Invincible.
It could be really sweet. Yeah, that's Batman, mid-20s Batman, new DC universe that people are actually
He's a
interested
construction
in. Like,
worker in that one, right?
yeah, there's a lot of stuff about
I bet he
this
has real
that's
hairy
sweet.
arms. I bet he has like real hairy arms in that.
There's a lot of stuff in this that I'm excited for. I like this direction. I hope that this is good. I want to see it. Another Batman thing to talk about, animated wise. We were talking about this before a little bit. A show that didn't leave a huge impression on me.
Love it aesthetically.
Anything more than aesthetic, yeah.
Yep. Cape Crusader.
The Cape Crusader was a little slow for me. I did some things that I wasn't super excited about, but the aesthetic is cool. The time period is cool. And it comes out soon, July 31st. I mean, I didn't hear
barely over a month
anything about this.
But I would have been. It needs to have a short cycle, and then it needs to be good.
Yeah,
and then we'll be like, Cape Crusader is pretty good.
It's one of those shows where I don't think it should be weekly if it's planning on doing that. I really hope it just comes out in one chunk, or at the very least, release half. Do half and half if you're gonna do it.
That's gonna be on Amazon Prime again, I assume, right?
I think so.
Okay. Prime.
But yeah, it says
I saw there was one more thing announced today. You see, a Joker anime was announced today.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I'm not gonna watch it, but I did see it was announced. They've done like weird crossover animes with the Justice League before.
Yeah.
I don't care about that stuff, but I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah,
seemed relevant to the conversation.
I wrote down some, because we've talked about it before. We're kind of at a point now in the show where like we've caught up on seeing some of the things that we wanted to see and discuss over the show. But I have some things that I wrote down that I'm looking forward to, and maybe once I list them, you could throw in some things that you might be looking forward to or things that I might have missed. Just kind of as like a maybe wrap up topic. But new movies and shows that are coming out. So we talked about Batman, the Cape Crusader, July 31st. For me, I have House of the Dragon that has either started or is going to be starting. The Bear has either an episode or two out. I'm probably just going to wait for all of that to drop before I watch it, since it's especially the last season. I don't foresee the ending of it being spoiled for me. I haven't seen a lot of spoilers of the show. I see scenes taken out of context, like the Thanksgiving scene, but I've never seen anything really be spoiled from that show from online. So I'll probably just finish it. Just with how this month is, I don't want to start The Bear while I'm still watching From and have to think about two conjoining storylines while I'm watching Andor, or just getting off the back of just feels like too much sometimes. This year, the one thing I can say is that I'm forgetting about certain things, and certain things aren't feeling as memorable for me. Literally jumping show to show, week by week, having multiple shows all on at once. I liked when it was for a couple months this show's on, a couple months this show's on, and I get I'm not gonna complain about all these shows being out because it's better than the flip end of having nothing to watch, but it's a little much.
The flip end,
a little much.
Flip end, huh?
I didn't have any time between any shows being out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been rapid fire. It's been rapid fire this month.
I had the first Game of Thrones show that came out this year in January. I had Plubris in February. I had in March, that was when Invincible started. April was From
The Boys
May
too.
And
was April,
The Boys. May was Spider Noir. June.
Plus, Fallout Season 2 was just like the very, very end of last year, so you were still coming right off of that into the year.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, it's awesome. It's great, but like again, I just keep forgetting about all these things that it's hard to keep everything in mind. But so the last couple things that I had, Lanterns is coming out relatively soon. It'll be in August, the next about a month ish. We talked a little bit about White Lotus already. I'm hopeful that we'll get a season of that this year. I'd like to see the next season. Movies. I know you mentioned wanting to see Evil Dead Burn. That's out soon.
I like the trailer,
The Odyssey.
Yep.
And Spider-Man really were the only next 3 movies that I'm really on my radar. I don't know if there's anything that I missed there that you're looking forward to.
I know you have a mixed opinion on him, but Eli Roth's next movie, The Ice Cream Man's, out in August. Mm-hmm. I like his movies enough that I'm excited to see that.
Okay, yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I like Thanksgiving a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many Thanksgiving-centric horror movies, and I really like my seasonal appropriate watches.
Yeah.
One of my autism things. So, yeah, I really like the thought of liking the Ice Cream Man.
We like ice cream, man.
Yeah, and I've mentioned, I think already twice on this show, but the Star Wars XCOM game, I'm so ready to be consumed by that.
Oh, yeah.
I want it so bad.
The thing with video games that's been tough for me is I just forget when they're coming out. I've been like really bad about games coming out. Like I didn't even know James Bond was coming out in the period that it came out in.
Yeah.
Like if you would have asked me a week or two before it came out, I would have been like, I don't know, maybe end of the year. I don't like. So, like
nope, that is GTA
when I think,
territory.
Like, when I think about games that like I'm excited about, really is pretty much like GTA. I guess Wolverine would be the next soonest game that I'd be excited for. Definitely gonna check that out. It'll be fun. But I want to get through James Bond and maybe get to Ghost of Yotei before I get to Wolverine. We'll see if I'm ambitious enough. But
September.
September
for Wolverine.
Soonish.
Yes, sir.
Brendan.
Gunman.
It's been a wonderful time.
It's been an excellent. This is one of our longest recordings, I think. It was a meaty one.
A lot of clip-worthy bits.
A lot of nebulous conversations that we could have taken many directions, but that's the fun of sculpting the conversation as we go, isn't it?
Yeah. We're getting our voices. We're getting our...
My favorite thing is like... I don't know. Never mind.
What's your favorite thing?
I have a lot of favorite things. Probably a nice pair bouncing nearby.
Okay.
End the show.